Alright, hello again everyone. Welcome again. It's now July 30th, and it's time to look at the garden once more. So, in some respects, the garden is looking kind of just sort of like an extension of last week in terms of what's been going good and what's been looking a little bit more off. But this time, we'll be able to take a little more time to maybe see what we can do here. Myself, friend Y, and friend Stripey are all here or about to be here, and so we're going to be doing a little more work. In the meantime, we'll just start with the roses. This particular bush is actually kind of the biggest I think I've ever seen. This bush right here doing very, very well. Just putting out various lovely flowers. More shoots to come. We'll see how it goes. Society garlic down there, still doing very nicely, as you can see. And then the white rose bush over here, really exploding up. One of the best I've ever seen it, the more I look at it. And the good corner bush here just still keeping along. Going back over here, as you can see, the artichoke is now starting in very nicely, starting to grow back, so we'll see what the next round of these guys results in. We've got ants all over the leaves admittedly. You can sort of maybe see a few just there around there, so we'll see where that goes. Over here, the little small society garlic and roses continuing on nicely, and otherwise this area of the garden just simply doing what it does, all laid out and looking good. And of course our composter, to which we always add stuff, and we've added a few things there too. Now over here we've had a sort of study in contrast, and it's sort of bumming us out. You might remember last week I was showing that the edamame was not looking its best. Well, sadly it looks like the edamame are pretty much out. A couple of sort of healthy-ish leaves there, but most of it you can see is everything's just sort of dried up and dead. And that's a real shame. They were doing so well. And something hit or something happened, so we're not too sure what's up. So what can you do? So that's a real pity there. They were planted with love by Grayson, and he'll be bummed to learn the news. The atomic red carrots, some have done well, some not. We've already pulled a few out, so it's looking empty there. A couple of them had been nibbled away, unfortunately, but other ones seem to be thriving. And so we'll let these guys in here for a little bit longer. As you can see, plenty of carrot greens, if nothing else, so we'll see where that gives us down the way. Now, over here, the Molokai and Shisha, well, the Shiso, I should say, I kept pronouncing it wrong, Shiso, Perea, also called, is continuing to do just phenomenally. Quite a few leaves here, so we'll be doing a little harvesting as we go. As you can see, just really look gorgeous in the sunlight, it must be said. And next to it, the Molokai, the sort of Egyptian spinach, again, it's also sort of gone over the top. It's apparently a very sticky plant when you harvest the leaves, so one has to be cautious. So we may be doing some clipping here, and I might actually do more harvesting next week when I bring some more stuff to handle it with, but we'll see how it goes. But as you can see, it's really starting to kick in now, so these were sort of the late starters, but now they've really thrived, so just needed to help them along. Squash plant here, very much overstepping its bounds, bless its heart, so we may have to do a little moving or maneuvering around here, but still more blossoms to come, more fruit will be coming along, if there aren't some to claim already. The chard here is starting to almost die back a bit, which is kind of good. It was kind of almost getting almost out of control there, but we still are putting out a few leaves, which is very nice. Now the tomatoes. Definitely things have gone very well here with the tomatoes and the basil. You can see with this one plant, tons more here. I picked quite a few last week. The plant itself is starting to look a little on the downside, so this might actually be sort of the high point for this particular plant. But we have tons of tomatoes, so we'll be doing some harvesting there. So you can see some basil as well. This particular plant, as you can see, sort of a batch of the heirlooms here. Again, the plant is sort of half groovy, half not, but it's definitely got some more ones down there, sort of bringing it along. You can sort of see through the leaves, moving aside there. And then we have quite a few other ones here that we'll be picking along. Very nice heirlooms. Over here with the smaller tomatoes, we'll do some checking now. We've got a couple we can pick, but it looks like most of these are still green, but also some basil, so that's doing pretty well right there. The Malabar spinach is really now thriving. We've got quite a few good-looking leaves right here, and then here as well, so this is starting to turn into a very nice success. The kind of random mix of plants over here is doing as it does. A couple of these things may be a little more on the weedy variety than anything else, but the other extra sort of random tomato plant that was gone here still continuing to put out a few small good tomatoes, so we'll see where it goes. Over here, meanwhile, the marigolds continue to thrive. The small little tomato plant here is putting out quite a few green tomatoes. We'll see where that goes there. We've also got more flowers coming up right here. And then the small plant over here that is giving out not quite too much in the way of tomato stuff, but you know, what can you do? But again, it's all worth it for the marigolds. And then over here, the sort of potato patch that is and isn't at the same time continues along. And here's another view of this batch of tomatoes right here. So in all, it's another good if mixed day at the garden. Some unexpected failures, but also some very interesting triumphs. We'll see as it goes. And everything looks great. So it's now time to trim, take a few photos later, and also get some water in. And Stripey's just shown up, so it's time for conversational fun. So we'll talk to everyone next week. Talk to you then.